Welcome to the Real Estate Investing Morning Show with your hosts, Wayne and Gabby.
Hey, good morning. Happy Monday.
Hey, welcome to the Canadian Real Estate Investing Morning Show. My name's Wayne.
And I'm Gabby.
Oh, and we're so excited to get into today's, I don't even know what we're talking about today. What are we getting into today?
We had an email come in from a listener who is wanting to know the state of the Canadian real estate market.
Is that what all these notes are? I was trying to read it frantically before we got started here. Good, we got some good notes here. Okay, all right, yeah, I can work with this. This is going to be a good show.
Yeah, we can.
The state of the Canadian real estate market. Well, I mean, it's like my Facebook status.
Complicated?
It's complicated.
Hey, wait. I'm not complicated. Is our relationship complicated? Or just you complicated?
It's complicated. Yeah, it's complicated. But just as I skim through this email here, I think that now I see where they're getting at. It's a little confusing. I think it's a little confusing for this investor and also many other investors. Some people say it's good. Some people say it's bad. Who's right?
What's going on?
Tough to say. Okay, we'll be getting into that very shortly here. How about the weather this past weekend? My goodness.
Absolutely beautiful.
Was it not absolutely beautiful? And since we're going to be talking about Canada today and what's going on with the real estate market across Canada, why don't we talk about what's going on with the weather across Canada today? Let's start with our home city, Edmonton, if you don't mind.
The weather today will be 24 degrees in Edmonton.
Yeah!
25 degrees in Vancouver.
Yeah!
20 degrees in Winnipeg.
Yeah!
20 degrees in Hamilton.
Yeah!
15 degrees in Halifax.
Wah wah.
Sorry, Fraser.
Thanks, Evie.
Sorry, buddy.
Pretty nice weather across Canada, though, until you get way, way, way out east. Yeah. Yeah. I've also been seeing on the weather app that they've officially stated that we're going to have like massive El Nino this coming winter. Going to be warmer than usual. Going to hit the west side of the country for sure.
Look at that. Look who just texted me.
Oh my God.
Can
Fraser.
you hear us? Can you hear us in
there?
Halifax, Fraser?
Are you listening?
Fraser just sent me a message. That's crazy. And he's not here live with us, is he, on the live show?
I don't know. Maybe.
Well,
he's
if he
just in the
isn't, then
background
that's crazy. That I must have been there. Yeah, he must have heard it all the way in Halifax.
Maybe.
My goodness.
That's pretty cool.
Sorry, to interrupt you.
That's okay.
We have a warm winter.
Apparently, I don't know. I haven't looked too much into it.
Sounds
it's like,
cool.
What is this? And how can they claim that in like, what month is it? June? I don't know.
Something about the currents and stuff like that.
Yeah. So somebody with, I don't know, more education in the weather, let us know.
Get your head out of the clouds, bud.
Yeah. Speaking of this past weekend. We also had our Edmonton Garden Suite 101 session on Friday.
Yeah, we did.
And it was amazing.
Did you like it?
I did. I really enjoyed it. And everybody that I spoke to afterwards, which was a lot of people, lots of people hung around and made sure that they swung by and said thank you and how much they enjoyed it. So lots of really good feedback and lots of people asking if we missed it, what does that mean for us?
Yeah, don't worry. We're actually going to be releasing the next seminar in July. It'll get released today. So
okay.
Stay tuned. You can go to reimasters.ca and just click on events and you'll be able to see it. At some point today, it'll be released. But because it was such a hit and because so many people liked it and because so many people said they couldn't make it last Friday because of just summer stuff, we're going to do another one. So that way you guys can make sure that you don't miss out on it. What a tremendous opportunity. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, obviously I was presenting, so I'm a little biased, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I was so incredibly proud to be able to share it finally. 24 months of kind of holding it all to myself and developing the opportunity, creating it, and then developing the different investor models for Garden Suites in Edmonton, the 4 different models, showing it off, the names and everything. Like it's all like, it's all here now, and anybody can do it. So I'm so incredibly proud of it, and just seeing, everyone's light bulbs going above their heads and the aha moments, and then talking to everyone afterwards, and then all the messages that were sent in later on. It's just, it made me feel really, really good. Yeah. That coupled with the really nice weather this weekend just made for one of the nicest weekends of 2026 for me.
Agreed. I was thinking about that last night as I was drifting off to bed, about how good of a weekend it was. Like, just from Friday night all the way through to Sunday night, it was just such a nice weekend. So I hope that you all had a fantastic weekend as well. Wayne, one of the things that surprised me most about Friday, and it just goes to show, like, how different everybody is. And I know that I'm different from a lot of people in the real estate investing world, because I'm not really, like, it sounds bad, but like, I'm not here by choice. Like, this wasn't my dream to do this. Like, I'm here because of your drive.
Okay.
And I'm not a super like analytical person. I'm more just like, go with the flow, and like, what is your intuition telling you? Like, that's the kind of person that I am.
You sound like you'd be good at the weather.
Except I'm not.
You make a great meteorologist.
But the feedback that when I was talking to people after the Friday session was how much they enjoyed the like deep dive into like the setbacks and the lot sizes and the like how many windows you need to have and how many this and that. And like that, when we were putting that in the presentation, I was like, really, Wayne? Like, it's Friday night, we're going to have like a snooze fest. And he's like, no, this is what the people want to know. And I'm like, is it really what the people want to know? And he's like, it's what the people want to know. And apparently it was what the people wanted to know.
Yeah.
Like, they were jazzed that they got all of that information without having to go find it themselves. So yeah, everybody's different. Definitely, like, I could have taken a seat and just fallen asleep for that, but
It depends, some people, yeah, you're right. And I remember going through it and learning all about it. And I thoroughly enjoyed the nerding out of it, because I think it's like, that's what most people are so unsure about, is how do I know? Right. And I even had a conversation with Dennis yesterday. I hope you don't mind me talking about this, Dennis, but Dennis and I had our one-on-one quarterly coaching call yesterday. He's in the REI Masters Mentorship Program. And we kind of dove into it a little bit more. And he was a little unsure about all of it. So even still after the seminar. And I was able to kind of walk him through it. And I'm like, it's not really all that complicated. Like, it's just things that you've never done before. So I think there's always that fear when you've never done it before. But once you do, it's just like, oh, okay, I just got to call this person. Oh, I just got to do this. And they take care of everything. Yeah. Right. So if you build it out with the right people, you get the right guidance, the right coaching, and then you also get the right power team, the builder who understands it, the models that are already, tried and true and proven, with the city, that's already approved and these types of projects before. Everything's really simple. You just got to be able to trust the process and just go do it. So, yeah, it's I'm so excited for so many people that, like, there's quite a few people that were at the event that actually have properties that they can do this on immediately. And once they came, they actually realized, oh, wow, I can do this on there. So I'm going to be building this one on this property. Yeah. And tons of calls have been booked for consultations for site assessments for this week. So we're very excited for it. Again, the next one's going to be on July 24th in Edmonton. And that will get released here today, so you can get your tickets. It's only $20 to come out. Amazing. And I see lots of people that are on the live show here today that were there on Friday.
Josh says, Garden Suite event was great. You oughter go at it again. And then Carmen says, you oughter check it out.
We like to hold it at the zoo. There's a conference room there that has a big window where you can watch the otters at the zoo playing in the water.
It opens into the
otters
in the water. Section there. I absolutely love it. Like, and it's a great room. It's a beautiful room. So, Yeah, the otters came out towards the end of our session, the last like 45 minutes or so, and that's when I lit up.
It was funny. They didn't come out through the whole presentation, which I thought was great
which is good. Yeah,
because I
they're
didn't want
distracting.
any distractions. But it was almost like I planned it. It was like right at the end of it, it was like, release the otters. And then it's just like the otters come out. You know what I mean? It was almost like I pulled a curtain rope and the otters came out.
Yeah.
There was no dancing. There was no music. There was a whole lot of boring stats about height requirements and zoning requirements and things like that. But we did have otters.
Yeah. Take that.
Take that. Yeah. Anyways, what a great weekend. So thank you to everyone that came out. I see Carmen's here. Carmen was there.
It was really nice to meet Carmen in person.
You've met her before.
Have I?
Yes. Well,
must not have been for a really long time.
I've met Carmen many times.
Okay.
But then again, I don't know if you were there when I was there.
Okay. If I have met her, it must have been a long time ago.
It's been a while.
Okay.
It's been a while. Yeah, no, I've met Carmen quite a few times. And Fabian and Kyla unfortunately couldn't make it, but they said they were bummed about it. Who else? Josh was there, obviously, and Manny was there, and Dennis. Manny came all the way from Red Deer.
Yeah.
Dennis was there. Yeah, so it's great to see all of you guys, and I'm really happy that how it all played out and turned out. Okay, so this question, listener emailed in, I think it was last Thursday or Friday. I forgot about it.
Yes.
Until this morning, but
would you like me to read it?
Yeah. So there's been some conflicting takes on what's going on with the real estate market. And, I've said this a million times too before. I don't like reading the news because I think the news is for the muggles. I think the news is for, should I say it this way? Ignorant people who just want to read headlines and not do any research for themselves. Is that mean?
I think it's what you do with the news. I think that most people do exactly what you just said, read headlines and then make assumptions or allow the influence of other people's opinions to draft this story.
Yeah, but what's the value of this person's opinion or any of these people's opinions?
But if you use the news to be informed that something is happening or that this is the direction something's going, and then you go and do your own research, I think but that's a very small percentage of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because without the news, I would be totally uninformed of anything that's going on. But it's what you do with it. It's whether you just read a headline and make assumptions or whether you go and learn something about it.
Yeah, where do they get their information from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some quote-unquote expert, and what is an expert? A lot of the experts that I see being quoted or referenced are, don't even know what the hell they're talking about. So I don't know. I've always been of the belief that I go and do my own research, and then I make my opinions based off of that, instead of going with what someone else told me. And I've said this a million times in the podcast too, guys. I'm just another guy with a microphone. I'm just another confident guy that acts like he knows what he's talking about. I do. But everyone else could say that they do too. So I don't want you to listen to me. I mean, I feel free to if you trust me. But don't just take what we say and say that's a fact. Mm-hmm. Go out and verify it. And we give you the means and the resources and the knowledge and tools to be able to figure it out for yourself. We always back it up with stats and with math and facts, so that you can actually go and check for yourself. So don't just listen to me blindly and Gabby blindly. Go and verify for yourself. Mm-hmm. Apply it to your business. See if it works, right? Run the numbers for yourself. Make sure of it. Because if you listen to me blindly, then you're going to listen to everybody else blindly. And that's not a good idea because everybody else is stupid. Now, don't just take my word for it. Go and have a look. Look at everything that we teach and then compare it to what everybody else is doing. And then you're like, oh, yeah, no. Yep, he's right. Everybody's doing it wrong. And so, this email, I can understand where you're coming from in regard to the conflicting information out there.
May I?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So this listener wrote in and said, I just started listening to your podcast and wow, you can tell that you are actually going out there doing what you're saying. I've been listening to a couple others before and they clearly have never bought properties before.
Hang on, what? Sorry, what did that say?
I've been listening to a couple others before and they clearly have never bought properties before. It just seems like everyone's reading off a ChatGPT script or they're trying to sell you something. Thank you so much for what you do, and thank you for being so down to earth and real. Some people are saying it's a terrible time to buy in Canada. Others are saying it's the best time in history. What is your honest take for an average guy in Ontario with a house and a ton of equity and some savings?
Okay, so some people are saying it's a terrible time to buy in Canada.
Yeah.
And then other people are saying it's the best time in history.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be a little bit confusing. Here's what I think. They're both wrong. I could be a little bit more positive and say they're both right. However, I think that they're both wrong. And the reason why they're both wrong is because it is not the best time in history to invest. As it stands right now, 99% of real estate in Canada does not work. We just talked about this on, was it Friday's episode?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
99% of real estate in Canada doesn't work. Like, if this were the casino, you know what I mean? And you just had to just pick any house in Canada and just roll the dice, you would probably lose all your money, right? If you didn't lose all your money in the first year, you'd lose it within a few years because it's just a matter of time before some storm comes in and wipes you out, right? So the odds of succeeding in real estate, uninformed, uneducated, and with no coaching, that's about as good as the odds as you could possibly find. Like if you want some really good odds at failing, that's about as good as the odds come. You are very likely, and that's why so many people fail in real estate investing too. Unguided, uneducated, uninformed, no coaching. They just say, well, I heard everybody else is making millions in real estate. I should try this out too. And then they just fail. So it is not the best time in history. We're going to take a quick little commercial break because one of my lights just went out. We'll be right back. I'll come right back to it.
Real estate investors need to treat debt differently than homeowners, and at Kirkland & Brennan Mortgage Group, we understand that. For the last 11 years, we've helped real estate investors plan and build their portfolios. We understand how to help you avoid fees, penalties, getting yourself stuck, and making sure that the deal you're doing today doesn't stop the deal you want to do tomorrow. You can reach out to Keaton, Keaton, at kbmortgages.ca. Put plan in the subject line and we'll help you build a plan and then realize it for your real estate goals. We also coordinate with the other professionals like your accountant, lawyer, realtor, and we will help you build your portfolio. So reach out. We'll do our best to help. Thanks, guys.
You've got showings, lease signings, suite renos, condo board meetings, credit checks, mortgage financing, and every so often the tenant clogs the sink because they shoved macaroni down there. Stop. Breathe. Leave the bookkeeping to Fingo. Fingo is specialized real estate bookkeeping by real estate investors with tailored services for maximum returns. Save time. Enhance your returns. Claim the plumbing repair for that ridiculous macaroni fiasco. Book your free consultation at fingo.com.
Summer. While everyone's getting distracted, this is when the market gets quiet. Not because the opportunities disappear, but because the people do. Vacations, long weekends, these are the distractions I'm talking about. And that's exactly when serious investors make their moves. At Calvin Realty, this is one of our favorite windows. Less competition, more flexibility, and sellers who are actually open to negotiating. While everyone else is stepping away, we're stepping in. If you're looking to buy right, not just buy fast, this is your edge. Calvin Realty. Opportunity doesn't take time off.
Well, it's a little bit darker in here now because one of our lights went out. But that's what's that?
It went kapowie.
Yeah. Well, not.
Well, there's no sparks.
Yeah. The only sparks in this room are between her and I. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, as long as you guys can handle the darkness, this is a live show. We broadcast the show live every weekday morning at 7 a.m. And sometimes lights are going to go out. But as I was saying, 99% of real estate, if you were just to buy any piece of real estate in Canada right now, you're probably going to fail. That's just the facts. That is the math. Many markets in the past used to work, but they just simply don't anymore. And so in the past, I would say it was better. It was better in the past because, in my opinion, I think that there were more markets that you could safely invest in the past. So maybe the returns weren't as good in the past, but there was a larger amount or a more markets that you could invest in safely where there was cash flow before. Whereas now it's not possible. Mm-hmm. So because of that, I would say that it's not the best time in history based off of that comment. But it's also not a terrible time to invest either. Right? Because let me share a story with you. I was done with real estate I wasn't done with real estate investing. I was done buying more properties 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I made the decision, it was actually late 2019, I made the decision that I did not need to buy any more properties anymore. Okay? I had enough properties for me to retire in the future and for me to leave behind for my kid. And it had nothing to do with how much properties I had or how much the properties were worth. I was able to reverse engineer my long-term goals for the future, which was being able to retire safely and being able to leave millions of dollars behind for my daughter. Okay? So that she can have a head start. However she chooses to use it is entirely up to her. But I looked at it and I ran the math. I reverse engineered my goals and I determined here is where my portfolio is going to roughly be. Not what the real estate was worth, but how much equity was going to be available for her, how much she was either going to inherit or how much she was going to stand to take over whenever she takes it over. And also, I was able to reverse engineer my cash flow goals for the future when I retire from my job. Okay? That was back in late 2019. I was done because the way I saw it was that any more properties that I buy will not change the overall trajectory of where I want to be in the future. Like buying another 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 would not have increased the quality of my life in the future. It's like the difference between $10 million worth of equity and $12 million worth of equity. Is it really going to make that much? Is it really that much of a difference? Mm-hmm. Or it's the difference between $20,000 a month in cash flow and $22,000 a month in cash flow. Or $24,000 a month in cash flow. What's really the difference when you think about it? What are you going to spend that money on? And when you think about it, it's probably just going to be dumb shit. It's going to be more fancier dinners or a slightly nicer car or maybe an extra vacation. But realistically,
you make more, you spend more.
What's that?
You make more, you spend more.
You make more, you spend more. And so that's fine. I could have maybe justified an extra 20%, higher income or 20% more equity to pass on to my kids or for my retirement. But that extra, what was required in order to create that was a worse lifestyle today. Because throughout now and until then, we have to manage all of that. And I'm not talking about managing the tenants and toilets. I mean, just keeping this thing running, oiling the gears and making sure that our systems are working, delegating tasks, managing tasks, selling properties, and then taking those funds and then reallocating them into other properties. Just like basically keeping our business well oiled and running. We have to do that. And if I add more properties onto that, that will be more work that impedes on today's lifestyle, my ability to be able to be a present father and a present husband. You know what I mean? Doubling my workload to have a slightly nicer life in the future means that I'm not going to be able to enjoy the moments today. So I in a very calculated way, figured out exactly what I needed in order to get the life that I wanted. So I'm very, very intentional about my decisions. Late 2019, early 2020, I said, no, I don't need any more. Then 2020 came. Okay. And it was in that moment that I realized, holy shit, there is a tremendous opportunity here for investments. And anyone who's been getting coached from me that long, which is there's very few there still are, or anyone who's been listening to us since 2019 when we started this podcast, you know that I saw the opportunities that were coming. I saw the fact that so much was being undervalued, and I knew what was coming. I knew that there was a huge opportunity in the Alberta market. So I positioned myself in a way so that I can start taking advantage of the different opportunities as they presented themselves. And literally every opportunity that's come up since 2019, we have capitalized on.
Yeah.
Every major opportunity we have capitalized on, okay? So the fact that the world turned upside down, and to be honest with you, I had no clue that all of these other catastrophic events were going to happen on a national level and on a global level. Mm-hmm. But every time one of those events kept presenting itself, most people saw it as the end of the world. I saw it as opportunity. Because every time something crazy happens, every time there's chaos, it's just another rung on the ladder to climb.
Yeah.
Right? Chaos is a ladder.
It shifts the way everybody thinks and acts and the headlines, just as we were talking about, and therefore the market shifts.
Yes. So for the last 6 years, it has arguably been the worst time, I think overall. I think the last 6 years have been the worst 6 years in combination for real estate investors in Canada. The amount of people that have failed on an epic level.
Yeah.
On the epic level of failure in the last 6 years. I have never seen, even with...
Nice choice of words.
Yeah, it was on purpose, yeah. Even with 2007, 2008 in comparison, I think that real estate investors, there's been more failure in the last 6 years than there was with the crazy housing crisis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not exaggerating. And the amount of people that have gone bust is, you don't even know that there are still more people. There are more stories that are coming of people that have gone bust you just haven't even heard about yet. It's bad. It's very bad. And they're blaming everything from the market to interest rates to the government to you name it. The Strait of Hormuz. Everything. And yet, in the last 6 years, our portfolio has fucking catapulted. Can you imagine if I had just sat back and continued to do the podcast and just talked about it?
Mm.
Can you imagine if I just sat back and just talked about all the things that we do and just how we're managing our systems and how our properties are doing so well, but have we not bought anything more? And I know, and Gabby hates that I keep buying more.
For all the reasons he just explained.
Because it impedes on our lifestyle.
Yeah. Takes away from today to add to tomorrow.
But Gabby, our returns, not our portfolio.
I know.
Not our portfolio. Our returns have more than tripled. I'm not exaggerating. And that's just, I said more than tripled because I think that what I was thinking, more than quadrupled just sounds kind of funny. And it almost sounds like I'm over exaggerating. But it's actually, like our returns went from here to here consistently for the last 6 years. I'm not exaggerating. Like, they are so fucking good. Not talking about how our portfolio has grown, because portfolio growth is based off of you buying more real estate, your assets under management increasing. So when people say that my assets under management, or like, they talk about buying properties, they talk about the fact that their portfolio is growing, meaning that like they raised some money and then they bought more real estate. But how is that real estate actually performing? What are the returns that they're getting in it? Our returns have more than tripled in the last 6 years. Fuck me, if we didn't do that, I would have been, and that's why I did it, was because I was like, I cannot miss out on this.
Yeah.
You remember me saying it, I will fucking regret it. You go back to the early episodes, and that's exactly what I said. I would have regretted it completely.
Well, and could you imagine having sat back and watched and coached our students to take advantage of the opportunity, but us not having, have taken advantage of it ourselves as well? Would have been some serious FOMO too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And so over the last 6 years as well, we've been teaching all of our students, and our students, like, with the exception, I'll always be transparent and honest, with the exception of the people that got into fix and flips and then didn't listen to what we said, those are the only people of our students that have lost money. Mm-hmm. Is during the period of 2022, 2023, when we were teaching fix and flips heavily, and then people went out and did fix and flips and they didn't listen to our advice. Those are the only people who lost money. So $50,000, $75,000 here and there, right? But other than that, and I want to be transparent about that. Yeah. I want to be honest. Other than that, every one of our students have been getting similar, if not the same returns that we've been getting.
Yeah.
Just absolutely dominating. It's so incredibly amazing to share that. I talked about Dennis earlier. Dennis picked up 3 properties in the last 8 months. He's picking up a 4th here in a few weeks. His numbers are amazing. Amazing. Like, you have no idea. And he's going to be picking up a few more here pretty soon. So, it's not a terrible time to be investing. Because you can't say it's a terrible time to be investing. Even though there's very, very limited opportunities, there are still opportunities. And I think that the opportunities that are available are some of the best opportunities, are the best opportunities in the last 20 years. I might even say 25 years. There was huge opportunities in early 2000s. However, I think that the opportunities right now are better than the opportunities in the early 2000s. And you do want to know why?
Why?
It's because the cash flow is stronger than what it was at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
The values of properties were going up at a very, very, very fast pace.
Yeah.
However, had you run them through the cash flow test, most of them would not have passed the 5% rule. Mm. And just for more context, that's the reason why so many people went bust in 2007 and 2008. Is because they had gone and they had bought these properties that were going up in value, and they're refinancing them, and they're doing when you take over somebody's mortgage?
Assuming mortgages.
They were assuming mortgages and just like, oh yeah, fuck it, let's just keep buying. Buy. And then how is it that everyone who was doing so well did so bad overnight? Mm-hmm. It's because they didn't have properties that passed the 5% rule. Mm-hmm. So this is why I say that the opportunities today, with the huge increase in values and coupled with the safety of strong cash flow, is the reason why today there are arguably the best opportunities to invest in real estate. So that's why I say they're both wrong. Right? That's my honest take on Canada, though. I wouldn't invest in almost every market in Canada. And when people say don't invest in Canada, go invest in the US, I think that they have a very strong point. The only thing that they don't understand is that there are amazing opportunities in Canada that they're just not aware of. And I think they're being a little too stubborn. So they're trying to chase something else somewhere else when there's something really, really good here. That I think that the markets that are working are better than 99% 95% of the market's in the US.
Yeah.
And as Canadians investing in the US, I still wouldn't, because of the fact that the financing is shit, but that's a whole other conversation for another day. I think that there's really great opportunities for Americans to invest in the US. However, Canadians to invest in the US, it's not worth it. Not for what we're doing, right? But
So Wayne, you're saying that there's on one side of the coin, there's a whole bunch of people who are losing mass amounts of money and going busto. And then you're also saying that on the other side, there's people who are taking advantage of the best possible investments that have been available in the last 25 years.
Yep.
So the difference between those two categories is really the types of investments that people are getting into. Is that accurate?
Yep.
And markets, types of investments and the markets that they're playing in.
Let's just put it this way. 30 people are doing really fucking good right now. That's it. 30 people are doing really fucking good right now. And then hundreds of thousands of people are not doing very good right now. No, I mean, that would be like assuming like the people that own properties. But how many investors are there in the Canadian real estate market, real estate investing community? 1,000, couple thousand?
Yeah.
Yeah. 30 are doing really good, and the rest are all doing really, really bad. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just, that is, feel free to come over and show me how your portfolio is performing, and I will show you how ours is performing, and you'll understand. And I'll show you my students. This isn't cocky. This is just straight up facts here. I see what other people are buying, and I'm like, you are playing with fire. It's just a matter of time before you get burned, right? But everybody's allowed to do what they want. This isn't a competition. I'm just proving a point.
Yeah.
What you want to buy, what you want to invest in is entirely up to you. And I am not here to play the big dick game and pretend like mine's bigger than yours. That's not what I'm trying to do here. What I'm trying to say is that when people say that there are no opportunities in Canada, I'm telling you there are, and that we are, and our students are doing fucking phenomenal, and it's safe. So there are opportunities out there. And what I would recommend is that this listener, this investor, stop listening to people or someone who just reads the Globe and Mail for their information. Don't listen to people who buy condos in Vancouver. And certainly don't listen to someone who hasn't bought a rental property in the last 20 years. Okay? If these are the people that you're listening to, look at where you're getting your information from. Are these really the people you want to listen to? And I'm not saying listen to me over listen to those people. What I'm saying is that, like, take the information that I'm sharing with you right now and get educated, get informed, and go and verify for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We are an absolute open book.
Yeah, we are.
We've been sharing everything about our journey for the last, how long has it been?
7 or 8 years.
7 or 8 years. 2019.
Yeah.
2019. We've been sharing literally everything. And I've been sharing everything about my journey through different forms of social media since 2017, when I finally stopped being afraid of the camera. Right?
Yeah.
And we have literally shared all of our wins and all of our losses. Funny thing is, though, is that we don't have any losses. Because we've never had any losses. Right? And so, yeah, we've been sharing all of our wins. We've been sharing all of our quote unquote losses, but we've never actually had any losses. And I think that should prove as some sort of, not proof, but credibility. That should provide some credibility that everything that we talk about and everything we tell people to do and everything that we teach is stuff that we've already done. And it's not just stuff that we've already done, but it's stuff that we've already succeeded in. And we continue to keep succeeding in every fucking day. Like, didn't that person say it in the email? You can tell that you are actually out there doing what you're saying. I've been listening to a couple others before, and they clearly have never bought properties before. Yeah, that's exactly it. So when you listen to people that talk about theory, listen to people that like say that the market's really great, but they're not actually even investing in the market, or they haven't invested in the market, in a very long time. Like, is that really all that credible? We're actually here. We're actually doing it every single fucking day. Every great opportunity, we are actually here taking advantage of it and winning in it and succeeding in it and literally showing you guys how to do it. Right? There are opportunities, guys. I'm telling you right now. And the reason why we don't fuck up is because we play it very safe. We've never lost money on a rental property, and we never will, ever. Right? And we want the exact same thing for you guys. So rather than just talking about it, we're actually doing it and we're showing you. So that way you can have that assurance of knowing that, okay, cool. Everything that they're saying, they're actually doing themselves. And they have been doing it for many years. I can see that it's not just them saying, oh, everything's great right now until it all fails. We literally show you that historically, it always works because of the systems that we create. And you can see the track record behind it. And you can continue to keep listening to us every single day and literally fucking fact check every word that comes out of our mouth. Mm-hmm. Right? There's nothing that misaligned. There's nothing that doesn't line up. Everything lines up. Right? So I would just encourage you to, again, be careful who you listen to. It's so easy for someone, especially these days, to turn a camera on or turn a microphone on and just start talking and read off of a ChatGPT script, like they said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
ChatGPT, tell me what the market's like today. And you'll literally watch them. They'll be on Instagram. They'll be like, yeah, so real estate sales are up right now, which means that we are definitely in a seller's market. There is lots of pent-up demand and prices are going up. Like, they're just reading, right? It's so easy. It's so easy to fool people these days. Yeah. But who's actually in there doing it? So, funny story. I do need to take another break because I got to fix my light. So we're going to take a quick little break here. But when we come back, I'm going to share another win because we actually, just this past week, removed conditions on another rental property, another amazing cash flowing rental property. And when we come back, what I want to do for the rest of the show is I want to talk about that property and I want to talk about why this property makes sense, why we bought this property specifically, what the thought process was behind it, and why it's going to succeed. And how I know it's going to succeed. And Gabby's going to talk about this as well, and what specifically, the reason why tenants are going to actually want to rent this place as well. So we'll take a quick little commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk about what we're actually doing in real life every single day in our business.
Real estate investors need to treat debt differently than homeowners, and at Kirkland & Brennan Mortgage Group, we understand that. For the last 11 years, we've helped real estate investors plan and build their portfolios. We understand how to help you avoid fees, penalties, getting yourself stuck, and making sure that the deal you're doing today doesn't stop the deal you want to do tomorrow. You can reach out to Keaton, Keaton, at kbmortgages.ca. Put plan on the subject line, and we'll help you build a plan and then realize it for your real estate goals. We also coordinate with the other professionals like your accountant, lawyer, realtor, and we will help you build your portfolio. So reach out. We'll do our best to help. Thanks, guys.
You've got showings, lease signings, suite renos, condo board meetings, credit checks, mortgage financing, and every so often the tenant clogs the sink because they shove macaroni down there. Stop. Breathe. Leave the bookkeeping to Fingo. Fingo is specialized real estate bookkeeping by real estate investors with tailored services for maximum returns. Save time. Enhance your returns. Claim the plumbing repair for that ridiculous macaroni fiasco. Book your free consultation at fingo.com.
Summer. While everyone's getting distracted, this is when the market gets quiet. Not because the opportunities disappear, but because the people do. Vacations, long weekends, these are the distractions I'm talking about. And that's exactly when serious investors make their moves. At Calvin Realty, this is one of our favorite windows. Less competition, more flexibility, and sellers who are actually open to negotiating. While everyone else is stepping away, we're stepping in. If you're looking to buy right, not just buy fast, this is your edge. Calvin Realty, opportunity doesn't take time off.
I've got light.
Yeah, look at that.
Let there be light.
Looking good.
Sound.
In
Drums. Guitar.
Let me know when you're done.
Let there be rock.
You done?
AC/DC for you this morning.
Okay. In the live chat here, we have some listeners that are live with us, and Carmen said that this listener needs a Wayne coaching call.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she says, no, Wayne does not pay me to say that. Thank you, Carmen. Also, Stuart had said that.
Stuart?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Stuart said, anyone else?
Stuart?
You are really annoying right now.
It's just a
Are you gonna
letter.
stop?
It's a letter Kenny reference. Maybe he's heard it. Maybe he hasn't.
Okay.
But
You're going to
somebody's
stop,
heard
though,
it.
right?
Yeah.
So I can speak?
Sorry, I've just been wanting. Every time we say Stuart, it's like, Stuart?
The second I get a chance to talk, Wayne, just attention needs to be on you. You got that light back on and you're like, me. Jesus. Okay. Stuart had said, anyone else sick of everyone telling us 3 things something is not before telling us what it is? AI sucks and is insufferable. Yeah. There's a lot of information just coming straight out of AI, whatever app people are using. And yeah, the thing that I do kind of like about it is that you can tell.
Yeah.
You can usually tell when that's what somebody's using and they're not being authentic or genuine in their delivery or who they are and that sort of thing. So it's easy for me to just weed out the fake and be like, hey, not listening to them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Can AI do this?
Probably.
Yeah.
They could probably make you do that.
Yeah. Wacky, inflatable, flailing Wayne.
Yeah. Yeah. Josh says, sadly, it's easier to fool. Yeah. There's also some new comments that are coming in here. Craig says, or listen to them and everybody else with critical thinking. People lack critical thinking skills. Yes. Yes.
That's
Absolutely.
the phrase of the day.
Yeah.
That's the phrase of the day. Thinking for yourself. Give it a shot.
Yeah.
Yes. So we just picked up a new property. We removed conditions on a property. We're going to be taking possession on
June 30th, I think.
When is that? 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
the 15th today. Yeah.
2 weeks. So 2 weeks we'll take possession of that. I think we're taking possession of 2 properties that day, aren't we?
We are, yeah. Big day. And we're not even going to be in town.
What? Where are we going to be?
We're going to be in the Okanagan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yes, we're going to take possession of 2 properties. Well, thank God we got a good team.
Yes. Yeah. All you really need to take possession of a property is a lockbox to get the keys, right?
With the right team, yeah, absolutely. And so, this is obviously one of the big fears when we decided that we wanted to take our portfolio and just fucking quadruple it. Was that, is this going to impede our lifestyle? And at the time, back in 2019, I was explaining earlier, I was still working. I didn't leave my career until 2020 during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And never had intentions of leaving my job ever. The only reason why I left my job was not for real estate. It was for a business that I created within real estate that provided an active income. And that's the only reason. So like when I say I'm a full-time real estate investor, I am, but I'm only 20% of my total job is in real estate investing. That's my investments. 80% is entrepreneurship. And so I own multiple businesses that's what pays for my lifestyle. My cash flow from my real estate portfolio, my investments stay in those accounts and I don't touch it. And it's really important for people to understand that it was never the intention to leave my job to live off of my real estate investments. And I say investments because I need people to understand that they are investments.
Opposed to what?
As opposed to a cash flowing business.
Okay.
Right? We do treat it like a business. It is a business, but it's your investment. Like you treat it similar to how do you go buy 300,000 shares in Coca-Cola and quit your job?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's for investments, for the investing for the future, right? You're trying to grow your investments for the future. You're trying to grow it for your retirement, to have money, later on when you retire. You're trying to leave something more behind for your family, your kids, right?
Yeah.
It's taking the little bit that you have and trying to grow it. So it's an investment. It's not meant to leave your job. I need people to understand that. And that was never my intentions, and I never have, and I never will live off of that until maybe later on when I decide to sell my businesses. But to be honest with you, I like to live off the income and the cash flow from my businesses as opposed to my investments, because my investment cash flow is not guaranteed. It fluctuates. Mm-hmm. But that's for the future. That's to keep that investment safe, to have something for the future if I ever need it, and for my kid to be able to inherit, right? So back in 2019, my biggest fear was that we would buy more properties and that it would impede on our lifestyle. But what we decided to do is we adapted. I told you we were going to do it, and you reluctantly agreed. But I mean, now you understand why and what I saw, and that it was worth it. And so what we needed to do is it forced us to create better systems. Yeah. It forced us to hire people, right? And I think that most people can get through, their building their investment portfolio without having to hire people, but we had to hire people. But thankfully we had enough cash flow in our businesses and in our portfolio to be able to afford that, right? Mm-hmm. So as you continue to scale, you may get to a point where you need to hire people, whether that be in person or remote. But, that's what we had to do. And because of the fact that we were forced to, to adapt and to grow our business to be able to handle it, it forced us to do it, and we did it. So now we're going to be, in the Okanagan here in a couple of weeks when we take possession of 2 properties. No big deal. There's a lockbox there, and someone is taking care of it. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Now, this property is, again, like I said last week or the week before, these are not properties that are sexy. These are not properties that I take pictures next to. Because I will look very, very good next to this property. It's not exciting. The numbers are exciting though. Yes. And that's what I'm after. I'm after what's underneath the hood.
Yeah. Well, this one in particular has over $800 per month in cash flow.
$800 a month in cash flow.
Yeah. Wow.
Right? And that's not in year 2 or year 3 after rents go up 2 or 3% per year. That's not after I had high efficiency light bulbs or LED light bulbs and swap out my furnace for a 97% high efficiency furnace so I can lower my utilities. No, this is like day one, easy peasy. It's going to require a little bit of work. We're gonna spend about $3,000 on cleaning up and just tightening and fixing a couple things. Putting up a little bit of drywall in a downstairs bedroom, but otherwise pretty chill, pretty easy, pretty turnkey. In fact, I could probably rent it as is with just $1,000 worth, a little bit of repairs. Yeah. But actually, the fact that, and it sucks that we have to spend a little bit of money on day one, but we actually got a really amazing deal off of it because of the fact that those repairs were there. I actually leveraged those repairs, and I got more money off the price than the actual cost of the repairs, right? Yeah. So I saw that as an opportunity for negotiation. But yeah, you're right. Cash flow's on day one. Cash flow is $800 a month on day one.
Yeah. I think that one of the things that, one of the ways that we invest, and one of the reasons why we're able to obtain these properties with such high cash flow is because the properties that we're targeting, and in this case, it's absolutely true, these properties are in what we would consider like a C-class neighborhood. Yeah. And if anybody is unfamiliar of rating neighborhoods by like A, B, C, D, F classes, when you think about it, everybody's like, oh, well, I want to invest in an A neighborhood because it's going to have the best tenants and they're going to pay the most amount of rent. But what they don't realize is that with that comes a really high price tag, because the properties are going to cost more. They're in really nice neighborhoods with really nice properties on really nice lots in really desirable locations. So those properties cost way more, and you have a much smaller tenant pool who can actually afford to live there. You need your rents to be so much higher to be able to cover those expenses. So you're looking for a very specific high earning tenant to try to make that cash flow. So you are diminishing your tenant pool immensely. So then when you start to go, okay, well, where is this large tenant pool? People who need to rent because they can't afford to own, you're looking in these. I'd say that B is probably even out of reach for really good cash flow.
There was an opportunity for Bs back in 2023. We were picking up properties in B areas.
Yeah,
right.
That's
but then
true.
the B opportunities dried up, so we had to go to the Cs.
When the prices continued to go up to purchase them, right?
Right. I still own those properties, and they went up in value. I bought them, and they went up like 50 to 60% up in value in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And not in returns. I'm talking in value. So I mean, like it went from like 200,000 up to 300,000, which means that I 5x'd that because I only put 20% down. So if it went up 60%, I made a 300% ROI on that. I wasn't kidding about my numbers, by the way. That's real. That's just appreciation, not mortgage pay down and cash flow. But we were buying them in the B areas back when the opportunity just started. So we were picking up as many as we could, and then that dried up. So we had the B areas went up in value, and now I can't buy them there anymore because the prices and the numbers don't work anymore. So therefore I have to buy in the C area, which is not my first choice, but it's still great opportunities in the C areas as well to take advantage of before this all dries up.
I'd say like C and D. Are really great like rental areas. You're going to have your largest tenant pool. It's going to be more affordable. So they're not going to be sparkling, shiny. Like Wayne said, you're not taking selfies in front of them.
Or in them.
But they are rent ready, and they are what the largest tenant pool that's available is looking for, and it's what they can afford.
Well, I talked earlier about you have to treat it like a business. And when I say treat it like a business, I mean that I approach this like a business. I approach it from, beginning with the end in mind. And I have to think about who is it that I'm selling to, right? And let's compare this to and this is going to be weird, but we talked about hot tubs recently. Let's use the hot tub example. If you were a hot tub company, you want to sell hot tubs direct to consumer, okay? Would you buy the high-end $40,000 super fancy-ass hot tubs that can fit 24 people? I mean, the types of hot tubs you sell directly to Diddy. You know what I mean? Like the super high-end hot tubs. Is that what you're going to load up and fill your showroom floor with? Or are you going to fill it up with the $1,500 hot tubs? The inflatable ones? Maybe the $3,000 ones that don't necessarily have as strong of a jet, or maybe they don't heat up nearly as quickly, and maybe they're not nearly as insulated, so they don't hold as much of the heat in during the cold months. So therefore, it uses a lot more electricity. But it's okay. They're gonna cut some corners, and they're gonna go with the cheaper ones that don't have the high super insulated walls and super insulated cover, because of the fact that they can sell it for cheaper, and then you pay the difference in the electricity costs in order to keep it warm, right? Which one would you rather sell? Well, you have to think about it. How many do you really want to make one sale to Diddy a year? Or do you want to make 50 sales to the average person who makes $80,000 a year? Who's more inclined? What's a better way to do this business? And there are lots of people looking for hot tubs in Alberta because it's fucking cold, right? They want to put one in their backyard, and they just came back from a 3-month shutdown, working out of town, and they got money to spend. And they literally, on their way back from the airport, they pull up in their big dually Dodge Ram, and they pull up to Poppy's Hot Tubs, right? He's like, yeah, give me that one, right? Cash. And he puts it in the back of his truck, and he goes home and he sets it up on his days off, right? That's who I want to sell to, because there's a huge demand for it. You have to know who's buying and who's more likely to spend the money. Do I want to go after just only selling to the Oilers, the super high-end ones for their, the $3 million houses? Or do I want to make it affordable and more attainable for the average people, the average folk who arguably are looking for more luxury, trying to find the little bit of luxury in their life that they can get on their days off or on their weekends after a hard day of, fucking climbing mods and fucking pulling wire and burning rod. You know what I mean? Those are the people who are looking for that cheap luxury. until they can get to Cabo again. So for me personally, I know it's a bit of a long story. Me personally, I want to focus on the easy ones who's making up a majority of the market.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could go and buy a fancy house and I can try and attract a really high-end tenant. There might be 10 of them available in the city. And I'm working so hard in order to find, one of those 10 people to convince them to come and rent for me. And hopefully they don't save up more money and then buy a house. Hopefully they stay for a long time, but they won't. Realistically, the type of client that I want to attract is the one who is looking for something affordable, who's going to stay for a very long time because of the fact that they are not in a position to save up and buy their own home. These are type of people that are looking for something like this. This is all they can afford, and then they're going to stay for the next 10 to 15 years. Probably for the whole length or duration of me owning this investment, which is going to help me increase my profitability. That's who I want. That's why when I say I think about it like a business, think about like, where's the largest, what's the tenant pool actually look like?
Yeah. And
what's the majority of them looking for?
Yeah.
And how can I give them exactly what it is that they want?
And when we go into these areas and when we find these, C neighborhoods, what you're going to find is in these areas, it's, really close to like transit. There's lots of like walkability and shopping nearby, schools. Like you're going to find these pockets where you find these great prices and these great rental properties is that they're close to everything. They're very convenient.
We've had quite a few vacancies that we've been having to fill for the last couple of months, and it's going to be into the next month as well. So I've been helping out with finding tenants, and 50% of what people are saying when they respond to me or when we're trying to book showings is, okay, cool. How do I word it? They're either having to take a bus or they're walking.
Okay, so is there a bus stop nearby?
They're not asking it. They're saying, okay, I should be there around this time. And then when I see that, I'm like, I'm trying to book someone to be there to show it to you.
Yeah.
When you say I should be there, instantly I'm like, are you going to be there or are you not going to be there? But when I ask them, like, okay, will you be there between that 15-minute window? Because they have 15 minutes for the showing. Like, okay, yeah, as long as the bus comes on time. Or, yeah, I'll be walking. So we had a viewing last week where our agent was sitting and waiting. He's like, they're not here. And I'm like, okay, cool, you can go. And then the person messaged us 5 minutes later and they're like, oh, I'm almost there. I'm like, what do you mean you're almost there? They're like, yeah, I'm walking from over here. And I went and I pulled it up on the map and they had a 25-minute walk, which should have been like a 3-minute drive or a 2-minute drive. But they ended up walking it. It didn't look very far for me, but then I looked and Google told me it would take 25 minutes to walk. And so I asked where they were and they gave me the address and it was like a few minutes away. So I messaged them. I'm like, yeah, they're 2 minutes away. They walked. And you would have assumed that they walked from the other end of the city, but it wasn't very far. They just decided to walk. It was a nice day. But they ended up being even more late and then we had to reschedule it. It's not the point, but they showed up, I think it was like 45 minutes after their viewing. But the whole reasoning was, no, it's their fault for not being on time. But what I've been hearing a lot of is people saying that they're walking or that they're taking the bus. So transit, I think right now, based on the affordability issue that we have in Canada, or at least in the city that we're investing in, I think is becoming a big thing for tenants. I think that they're deciding to not buy a vehicle and to take transit more in order to save a few $100s a month. Right? So transit's really important. And then walkability, like Gabby said, walkability is really important too, because they don't have a vehicle. They need to be able to walk to the grocery store, walk to Shoppers Drug Mart to get their prescriptions, walk to the mall to be able to get their kids' school supplies and things like that, right?
Well, and this one particular that we're picking up that we just removed conditions on is right next to a mall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, when you think about the conveniences that, we're investing in, it's going to make for really great property for a family to come and settle into, right?
Right next to an elementary school, right next to a high school. I mean, literally right next to an elementary school and a high school. So perfect for anyone with kids of any age and everything else, transit and everything else. So we're thinking families. That's what we're trying to attract here. We're trying to attract a family that can just afford this, right? that needs to be close to school, needs to be close to transit, needs to be close to all these check. And then as well, I talked about the 4th bedroom. We just need to add drywall to the ceiling, right? So we got 4 bedrooms, finished basement as well. So extra living space, extra bedroom, which is really important. Has a 2nd bathroom as well, which
isn't a must,
it's not a must.
but it makes it more desirable.
It definitely helps, right? Not a lot of properties have the 2nd bathroom, but some do, some don't. But it's becoming more and more rare. And then a small yard as well, which I think is really important. Regardless, I mean, people want somewhere to sit outside. To either, get a little bit of sunlight, have a barbecue, smoke a dart.
The other day we were driving to a viewing, and I chuckled, and you said, "What are you laughing about?" I don't know if you remember this.
I do.
It was just like a random
I do remember
moment.
that random laugh that you had that you never told me what you were laughing
it
about.
It was a bright sunny day, and it was outside of this like small apartment building. I don't know how many units it would have been, maybe 20 or something.
Yeah.
And there was this woman sitting outside the front, like main entrance into the common area to get into the apartment building, in like just a crappy camping chair, and just like this, like trying to get some sunshine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sorry for those of you who couldn't see, like just like face up, arms out, like, like as if the aliens are beaming you up, like just trying to get like that little bit of sunlight.
Yeah.
Because they're in an apartment building with no balcony and no, you know what I mean? And so like the desire to be able to get outside and to spend time, soaking up the sun or having a little garden outside or whatever it may be, people want that. They just can't always afford it, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. The last thing that I'll add about this rental property and why it's so great and why we bought it was because it's not only a great rental property, but it's also a very desirable property for first-time home buyers as well. And when you think about a first-time home buyer, it's not only hard to afford rent these days, it's also it's difficult to afford a mortgage. It's difficult to buy a property, to save up for a down payment and then to be able to afford the monthly payments for the mortgage and the property taxes and the insurance and all those other things and the costs of homeownership. So, there's a very, very high demand for 3-bedroom and even more so 4-bedroom homes that people can afford to buy. And this property also fits right in that pocket as well for something that somebody would want to buy as a home, not just as a rental property, but as a home as well. So because of the fact that this is so important, by the way, when you're thinking about buying rental properties, it's not just about how it performs with the cash flow. It's not just how it performs as a rental property with the profitability and the return on investment. You also need to make sure that it's something that will go up in value. And the way to know if something's going to go up in value is it something that people actually want to buy? The asset itself. Is it something that is desirable? Does it have a high demand in the real estate market? And this is the type of property that does, because it's affordable. It doesn't require a very large down payment. So it's attainable. And also it has all the features that families want. If it were a 2-bedroom, it probably wouldn't. It wouldn't be as desirable, right? Are people going to fight over a 2-bedroom? Or are they going to fight over a 4-bedroom? They're going to fight over a 4-bedroom, right? So this is why as well it's really good, because if I were to put this up on the market to sell it, there would be lots of people very interested in it. They would fight over it, and that's how I know the value is going to go up as well. So I want to make sure that this works as a rental property business, that it's going to have great returns, it's got good cash flow, low risk, but it's also something that people actually want to buy. So that way the value will increase over time because it's very high in desirability, high in demand, right? So we're very happy about this. We are, like I said, we're getting possession of this one on June 30th. Gabby will probably never see it. In fact, we get keys on June 30th. I'm very certain that we're just going to send people there to do everything, and then there will be tenants in there within weeks. And then Gabby will probably never see this property, which is pretty cool. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I walked into one of our properties for the first time. I think we've owned it for about 3 years. And just by chance, we happened to be there in the area while it was vacant.
Yeah.
And you were like, do you want to pop in and see? And I was like, sure.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is cute.
Yeah. right?
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be complicated.
Yeah.
When you see it as simple as we explain it, it's not that complicated, guys. Once you understand it, once you get informed, once you get educated, and once you get the proper coaching and education, this is simple stuff, guys. So there are, back to that original question earlier, is it a terrible time to invest? No, it's a great time to invest. There's terrific opportunities in Canada, but are they everywhere in Canada? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. In fact, it would be, if an alien came down trying to find the best, rental property deals, they would be very hard pressed. They'd have a very hard time, right? It'd be very difficult, from the sky looking down to try and figure out where these opportunities are, because they are in tiny little pockets, right? Yeah. But only the experts know where these opportunities are, and only people that are actually doing it know where those opportunities are. So if you guys want to be an expert and you want to know where these deals are, keep listening to the show, right? Consider joining the REI Masters Mentorship Program, right? We'll teach you. You can pick it. You can pick apart the little things that we add in on these episodes every day, and you can put it all together yourself, or you can pay for the coaching, pay for the education, and be doing it right away, like Dennis and Andrea, who picked up 3 properties in the last 8 months, who are about to pick up their 4th. Yeah. And they've got a joint venture partner lined up that wants to get another one. Right? I think they're probably going to be getting 7 or 8 properties this year.
Wow.
They have all the money and everything all lined up. It's just a matter, they're just waiting for the right properties to come on the market. They know exactly what they want. They're just waiting to pull the trigger once it comes up.
Amazing.
Right? Wouldn't you like to be something like that? Wouldn't you like to be like them? Just saying, it's possible, guys. So, keep on listening to the show. Thank you guys so much for joining us. What a long show it was today.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. And we will see you guys all tomorrow morning.
Have a great day.
Thanks for listening. Want to be coached personally by Wayne and Gabby? Then you should join the Real Estate Investing Masters Mentorship Program. Details are in the show notes to get started.